What's going on, B Nation? Hope you guys are all doing well. Wild and free. It's how we all should be, wild and free. So, I wanted to talk today about the acid alkaline myth. Someone wrote to me asking my thoughts on this particular video, and I thought we could discuss it today. This isn't a hate video or anything like that. I'm not really into doing those response videos, but I figured we can talk about this, discuss it, and I'm just going to give my comments on it. And this video is by a popular blogger and a paleo advocate. So we're going to talk about that, but we're going to watch what he has to say about the acid alkaline myth, and then we're just going to talk about it. So let's tune in.
I talked about the acid alkaline myth, which is the idea that eating alkaline or consuming acidic foods or beverages will lead to disease, and consuming alkaline forming foods or beverages will lead to health.
So what is acid forming foods?
Animal products would be at the top of the list. Certainly processed and refined foods and sugar, and of course I don't advocate eating those, but I think animal products are an important part of a healthy diet. And there are three claims that they make. I won't go into a lot of detail here, but the main idea is that what we eat directly affects the pH of our blood. And if you talk to any scientist who's familiar with this realm, they'll tell you that's ridiculous, because the pH of our blood has to be in a very narrow range for us to be healthy and even survive. And if there's any deviation from that range, then it means almost certain death. So the idea that we can affect it by something as simple as what we eat is kind of preposterous.
So why is it that people believe that it's true?
Well, because you can change the pH of your urine or saliva.
Okay, so I just want to stop him there, because he's saying that your blood cannot deviate. And that's correct. So your blood always has to maintain a 7.4 pH. If it's around that pH. And if it didn't, if the blood goes below or too high from that, we would essentially die. So the body always regulates itself, and that's homeostasis. But what he is, and a lot of the doctors or medical practitioners out there, that they are missing a big part of the puzzle, and that is the lymphatic system. There are two main fluids of the human body: your blood and your lymph fluid. So, and that is actually 3/4 of the human body, the lymph fluid. But most of these doctors or paleo advocates, they would just focus on the blood, which is only 25% of the human body. When you pop a zit, you'll most likely see the blood and then the white mucus part, and that's the lymphatic system. And that is our gigantic sewer system, which is where all the acidic wastes are. And that's where my ovarian cysts were. I've healed myself from ovarian cysts and still working on my skin cancer, but I have eliminated ovarian cysts, pockets of mucus in the body. And that's what happens is when the body becomes too acidic, we don't have enough alkaline foods to remove the acidic waste. That's ionization in chemistry. Then it'll be stored in the lymphatic system. Now, what he also talks about is I won't watch the whole video just because this video will be too long, but he also talks about how our body has a buffering system, and that is true. The body does have a buffering system. The kidneys do release bicarbonate. However, if the body becomes too much in an acidic state, then it's going to pull calcium and certain minerals so that the body does not reach high acidosis. And calcium is one of the richest minerals of the body. So often calcium will be pulled from connective tissue and our bones. There are studies that show excess protein intake results in bone loss. But no matter what, we can look at studies, scientific research. I can present as much scientific research as possible, but there's always going to be people that will show their studies. And that's what I want to talk about today, is that you can find whatever study, whatever doctor you like to support your belief. But what it comes down to is chemistry. Okay, so aside from all the doctors and the scientific research out there, we can look at that, but it comes down to chemistry, and there's two sides to chemistry: acids and base, or alkaline. And in order to neutralize an acid, back to chemistry, which is this whole planet has and every molecule has a pH. So when we look at the periodic table, you can see that calcium and potassium are your alkaline minerals. Now the acidic ones are your nitrogen, your sulfurs, and that is the meat, your eggs, high sulfur, high nitrogen. So you can see that people on a high protein diet, their kidneys are going to be affected. And no, I'm not a doctor, but if you want to check out a doctor who is also a biochemist, check out Dr. Morse. He's so knowledgeable in this field, and is really just looking at things on a chemistry level as well as physics, cause and effect. But most of the allopathic community only focuses on the effect and treating, and not looking at the cause. What is the cause? And to say that what you're eating every day is not going to have an impact on your body, that in my opinion is incorrect. When we're bringing in the potassiums and the calcium from your oranges, from your leafy greens, high minerals, high potassium, that is the alkalinity, which is going to push out the acidic waste out of the body, which is the nitrogen, the sulfur. And I also wanted to, let's take a look at, there's another point he made here, which I want to discuss. I don't want to make this video too long, but it is important that we talk about the lymphatic system, which is where the acidic wastes are held, and that's just the body's way of protecting itself. So let's just take a look, see what else he has to say here. I think it's right about here.
True that cancer grows better in an acidic environment, but the causality is reversed, because your blood, we don't get cancer because our blood is acidic. Our blood becomes acidic because we have cancer. Released by tumors or cells that have cancer. It's a byproduct. Acid is a byproduct of that cellular metabolism. So again, it's a misconception, and it's a situation where the causality has been reversed.
So we can still
again, it's a misconception, and it's a situation where the causality has been reversed.
So we can keep eating meat.
The good news is we can keep eating meat.
Again, there's people out there that are just saying that cancer just comes in from outer space and attacks the body. It couldn't possibly have anything to do with what we're eating, or breathing every day. And stress also can change the cells too. But to say that if I were to drink Coca-Cola every day, which is a pH of 3, or alcohol every day, that doesn't have an effect on my body, is ludicrous to me, ludicrous. And even battery acid, which is a pH of 1, if you were to drink that, which I don't recommend, do not do that, you would have to go to the hospital and get your stomach pumped, because that is going to damage your organs. And to say that it's the cancer that produces the acidic waste, we have to look at our body as being a cell, and what is our body metabolizing? Is our body metabolizing acids or alkaline foods? Because that's either going to bring in disease or not. So we need to look at what acids are we bringing in, And to help our blood out, we need to be eating more alkaline foods so that our lymphatic system doesn't have to work so hard to eliminate these toxins out of our 3 kidneys, which is our 2 kidneys and our skin, one of the largest eliminative organs, as well as our intestinal tract, eliminating that way, and breathing, elimination that way. So we have to look at the lymphatic system, and exercise is really important to eliminate the toxins, moving the lymph. And I talk a lot about that, but we need to look at what we're ingesting every day, because that is either going to bring in disease or not. And I'm not a doctor, so this is not medical advice, but I have healed myself from ovarian cysts by changing my diet, by me not putting in the acid-forming foods such as your dairy, your processed foods, your junk foods, the Coca-Cola, which is a pH of 3, very acidic in the body. So if I were to drink that every day, I would for sure be bringing in a lot more acids, and then my body would have to work to neutralize that acidity. And it does that by leaching calcium. I noticed if I was consuming lots of pizzas, processed foods, my skin broke out. So what you do every day is either going to feed or fight disease. And Hippocrates said it right: let your food be thy medicine and your medicine be thy food. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, be alkaline, be yourself, and be getting in some raw fruits and vegetables today. Cheers.